Chapter 5. I stayed out in the backyard, practicing my throwing till 3:30 p.m. Honestly, I probably would have continued throwing my football at the tree if it wasn't for my mother. She found me out back. She was at the grocery store, and let me know the time. I could tell that she wanted me to go to the tryouts, so I decided this was the right thing to do. After one last bullseye pass into the giant tree trunk, I ran inside and upstairs. I took a quick shower to freshen up and change into my school's athletic clothing, the clothing they gave every student to wear in gym class. My mother wanted to drive me down to the school, but I told her I'd rather walk. I wanted to have some time to myself, to think about everything that happened to me and my family. The walk to the football field, located at the high school, only took me about 10 minutes, but the walk relaxed me to a degree. With the high school field now in front of me, I paused, staring up at the entrance sign. After a few deep breaths, I glanced up at the sky. It appeared to be cloudless and a super bright blue. "This is for you, Dad." I calmly walked inside the entrance and made my way to the football field. The high school's field looked pretty cool, I must say. This field wasn't the normal green grass like most other football fields. The high school's football field had brownish-yellow grass with blue end zones. In the center, our school logo sat, the brown bullhead. "It's a fish." "Hey, good to see you, Andy." The deep voice of a middle-aged man entered my ears. "I'm glad you made it for tryouts. I hoped you'd still come out." Straight ahead of me, walking my way, was the varsity football coach, Coach Murphy. Yeah, I'm here. Ready to try out," I said. My father and Coach Murphy were friends. They played together on the high school football team back in the day. A few times when practicing football with my father, Coach Murphy would join us to help me. Coach Murphy always treated me well, and he told me I had a guaranteed spot on the team when I reached the 9th grade. This was the first time I've seen Coach Murphy since my father passed away. "Well, that's good, Andy." Coach Murphy's smile faded. He placed his hand on my shoulder, squeezing it gently. "I'm sorry about your father. He was a good man, and a good friend. I truly miss him." "Yeah," I muttered. "I miss him too." Coach Murphy blushed, turning as red as a tomato. He glanced away from me, rubbing the back of his head. Here, Andy, follow me. We will start the tryouts now." Coach Murphy's little talk about my father made me feel awkward. It made me want to turn around and go home. But I didn't leave. I followed him over to the center of the football field where all the other coaches and students stood. "Hey, Andy." To my left stood a student named Carl Fine. He wasn't too friendly with me since he, like me, also had high expectations to become the next starting quarterback. Carl was a junior, and he believed this year would be his year to shine. He hated the idea of a freshman, me, possibly beating him out as the starting quarterback. "Oh, hey, Carl. What's up?" Not much, Andy. I just wasn't expecting to see you at the football tryouts today." I stood in silence, watching Carl. "You know, because of your dad," Carl said with a smirk. "Okay, everyone, quiet down. The tryouts have begun," Coach Murphy said. Carl turned to face Coach Murphy. I couldn't take my eyes off of Carl. I wanted to hit this kid so bad, but this wasn't the time or place. "First things first, I want everyone to go get their pads and helmets on. Then, meet back out here to do some laps around the field." The entire group moaned as nobody wanted to run around the field in circles while padded up. Coach Murphy laughed. "Oh, toughen up, buttercups." He pointed toward the locker room. "Go, now." The students looking to try out all ran for the locker room. I started to follow, but Coach Murphy psst at me. Slowly, I trotted over to him. "Say, Andy, if you don't want to suit up and run around the field, you don't have to. You can go with Coach Tiller, the quarterback coach, and practice tossing the ball." Coach Tiller, a young, maybe mid-20s, white, blondish-haired man, smiled at me. "Follow me if you'd like." He gestured with his hand for me to follow him. After a split second of thinking, I decided that throwing the ball around would be more fun than running around. So I obliged both of my coaches and followed Coach Tiller to the middle of the football field. The next hour passed and I threw the football around with Coach Tiller. We went over different schemes and sets for me, as I prepared to be the possible starting varsity quarterback. While I worked out with Coach Tiller doing quarterback drills, I noticed Carl running around with his pads on like everyone else. Carl even had to line up and play as linebacker. This made me feel good. His comment about my father didn't sit too well with me. At the end of the tryouts, Coach Murphy called everyone in the middle of the field. We all huddled down next to each other. "Okay, guys, today turned out to be a great day of tryouts. Every single one of you did great, but as you all know, there are only 20 roster spots available." Coach Murphy glared around at every one of us roster hopefuls. "And I count 31 players here. That means 11 of you will be cut. Tomorrow will be the most intense practice. This will determine who will make my team." My eyes panned around the group of guys, landing directly on Carl Fine. He shot me a dirty look, but I paid it no mind, really. Coach dismissed the group, and the first day of tryouts was over. I left the field feeling incomplete. Even though my first day of tryouts went well, and they have told me I basically got the starting quarterback position, it didn't seem right. Not having my father around to watch me or cheer me on gave me such sadness. I decided not to go home. I didn't want to talk to anyone at that moment, not even my mother. So I headed to the ball field. A sense of relief hit me as I entered the ball field. This sense of relief stemmed from the fact that the park was empty. Nobody but myself and the trees. On the side of the ball field next to the basketball courts sat 3 picnic tables. I picked the middle table. The closest table to the basketball courts had bird poop all over the top of it, and the far table just didn't intrigue me, and sat down. I sat on that bench for hours, asking myself, what is the meaning of life? Even though I sat at a familiar place, a place where I had many great memories of my father, I just couldn't keep it in. A fierce feeling of anger overtook me. I jumped up on the picnic table and pointed my fingers straight up in the air. "You took him from me! Tell me why!" I screamed louder and harsher than ever before. "Why him? Why my dad?" At that moment, my face became hot. I glanced down at my phone, turning the face-forward camera on. My face was bright red like a tomato. I jumped off the picnic table and jolted over to the row of trees that surrounded the field. "Why, God?" I roared while climbing up a pine tree. "You should have taken me, damn it!" My emotions ran wild. Anger and sadness overtook my whole psyche. Tears dripped down my cheeks. As I reached the top of the tree, my yelling continued. "God, I know you are listening. You should have taken me. And since you didn't and took my father, I'll help you out." I glanced down the tree, my vision blurred from the tears that filled my eyes. "I don't care anymore. I can't live without Daddy." My left hand let go of the branch. My right arm started to shake as my right-handed grip became weaker. "I'm coming for you, Pops." My right hand eased off the branch until a voice caught in my ear. "Hey, you don't want to do this, son. This isn't the way. I want you to live a full life." My right hand gripped the branch harder than before. I swung my left hand up and grabbed a new branch. "Huh?" I mumbled. The voice from below sounded like my father. "Please, climb down here. There's always a brighter day following a rainy downpour," the voice of my father said. While holding on to the branch, happiness hit. Hearing my father's voice put a smile on my face, yet I felt scared, since my father had passed away. "Come on, you can do it. Nice and easy. Climb on down." I placed my right foot on a branch, then my left. After making sure I felt stable, the climb back to the ground began. The entire climb down, I kept trying to see my father, but yet I saw no one. "You're doing great. Keep on coming," the voice of my father said. My arms and legs shook, but I kept taking deep breaths, slowly making my way down the tree. I wanted to call out to my father, yet every time I tried, my voice seemed to vanish. "Only a few more branches, and you're back on the ground," the voice called again. My right foot placed firmly on the last branch. I glanced down to the ground and saw someone standing at the bottom. The face I couldn't see, but the arms and the legs were visible. This didn't appear to be my father at all. It looked to be a kid, about my age. Then it hit me. The last few times the voice called out, it didn't sound like my father anymore, but more like a kid. My focus was on climbing down, so I didn't really take notice. "Okay, now jump down and you're good." I hung on the last branch by only my hands now. This is definitely a kid, not my father, I thought, as I dangled for a few seconds. After what seemed to be hours, I let go of the branch and my feet slammed on the ground. I picked myself up and off of the ground, dusting off my pants. In front of me stood a boy about my age, with blonde hair and bright blue eyes. I glanced behind him and all over the vicinity looking for my father, but he was nowhere. "You all right now? You scared me there," the boy said. My heart pounded a mile a minute. I walked up to the boy, grabbing him on his shoulder and moving him to the side. "What's wrong?" the boy asked. "Whatever it is, it can't be that bad." I stared at the mysterious boy for a few seconds. The boy had red cheeks. Even his forehead appeared to be slightly red. I have never seen him before, and I wondered where he came from. I'm sad because I lost my father recently in an auto accident, and I swear I heard his voice." "You heard his voice?" the boy asked, scratching his head. "Yeah." I walked over to the tree to lean against the trunk. "When you called up to me, I thought it was my father's voice, not yours." "Oh." "Yeah, it was my father's voice, all until I got halfway down the tree, that is." The boy stepped closer to me, getting himself out of the sun and into the shade of the tree. "May I ask why you are up in the tree?" My words stopped. The thought of myself even thinking of committing suicide made my stomach turn. "Hey, it's okay. You can tell me," the boy said, placing his hand on my right shoulder. Tears filled my eyes. I turned to wipe them. As soon as I wiped away the tears, more tears took their place. "Well, I was going to jump out of the tree." The boy cocked his head to the side, his left eyebrow rose. "To kill myself," I said, lowering my head. The boy took a few steps backward. His hands went up to his mouth. "Oh my! Why in the world would you want to do that?" "Because of my father's passing," I sneered. Then it hit me. This dude asked what I was doing, yet when he first called out to me, in my father's voice, he said, "Hey, you don't want to do this, son. This isn't the way. I want you to live a full life." So he knew what I was doing in the tree. Why was he acting differently now? "Wait 1 second, I said, peering into his blue eyes. "When I was up at the very top of the tree," the boy glanced up at the tree, scratching his head, "I was mumbling some junk about how I miss my dad and I should have been the one to go and how I'll help God out." I now rested against the tree trunk, glancing up at the mighty tree, seeing where my life could have easily ended. "But, buddy," the boy started to say as I cut him off, "you called out to me in my dad's voice. Heck, you even called me son," I explained. The boy continued to scratch his head. "Don't you remember saying, 'Hey, you don't want to do this, son? This isn't the way. I want you to live a full life'?" I held my arms out, my mouth open, waiting for an answer. "Sorry, buddy. I never said any of that. Heck, I didn't know you were attempting to jump," the boy said. He walked closer to me, rubbing his hand against the rough bark. I was walking by and I saw you hanging from the middle of the tree. I figured you lost your grip and almost fell. He stared into my eyes. I tried to coach you down the tree, but I never heard you say anything about your dad or killing yourself. What is he saying? He really never called me son? A strong breeze blew. It felt great against my skin. A sense of peace overtook me. It was my father. He truly was the one talking to me, getting into my head, letting me know everything will be okay. My dad led this boy over to me. I just know it. Would you like to go to the corner store with me and get a drink? You look like you could use one, and I heard the prices are pretty cheap there, the boy said. I glanced up at the sky. A single large cloud set against the blue background. The cloud appeared to be in the shape of a person. My dad. Yeah, I could use a drink, I said, patting the boy on his shoulder. But you don't want to go to the corner store. That's not a good area of town. I stepped a few feet in front of him, turning back to wave for him to follow me. I'll take you to Joyer's Pharmacy. They got the best Coke floats there. The boy smiled and walked next to me. We walked for a couple minutes and then it hit me. I never caught his name. Hey, by the way, my name is Andy. Andy McDonald. Nice to meet you, Andy. I'm Chase Anderson. I just moved here from Angleville. It's near the Mason-Dixon line. It's great to meet you, Chase. I stopped walking and smiled at Chase. Thank you again for showing up. No problem, buddy. We started walking once more, and then I realized what Chase was wearing. A football jersey. The jersey was black and gold and read Angleville Eagles across the chest. Say, Chase, you like football, huh?